few days ago, I was driving into Azraq refugee camp, built for over 130,000 refugees in the middle of the desert in Jordan. A barbed wire fence cuts into the sand. Thousands of shelters, as far as the eye can see, back to back. I'm stopped at the fence. The soldier asked to see my security clearance. There are many young men hanging around, kicking up the desert sand. Syrian refugees aren't allowed to work in Jordan, and there's nothing to do. I don't really see any girls after about the age of 11, 12. They aren't allowed of their shelters. And many marry before the age of 15. So how do I end up here? A German guy in a desert refugee camp. In 2007, I was running a successful gym, but I was overworked. My girlfriend just left me. The weather was awful. I really needed a meaningful change. I'm actually half Syrian, and my Arab roots brought me back to the Middle East. So I was practicing my capoeira moves on the streets of Damascus, singing, playing the instruments. Local kids joined me. They brought their friends, they brought their friends, some brought their parents. So I decided to set up classes for them. And from these early beginnings, I set up classes in youth prisons, programs with Iraqi and Palestinian refugees, in safe houses, reaching out to thousands of students every year. But it's not a surprise that capoeira speaks to the young people I work with today. Capoeira is not just about flips and kicks. In capoeira, there are no winners and there are no losers. Everybody can join regardless of age and gender. It was born out of slavery in Brazil in the 16th century. It was a way of keeping the spirit free. Even the body was confined. And that powerful history inspires people and opening minds to new cultures today, creating a sense of equality and tolerance and dignity. One of my first projects was with Iraqi refugees in a playground in a UN school. We had around 30 boys, and the girls I had to train separately indoor. It was a bit conservative there. Everything was going fine until suddenly it started to rain heavily, stones and rocks. So we had to run for it. I asked the student what was going on, and they said, "Oh, it's the Syrian kids, they're stupid, they're dirty." And I asked the teachers, and they told me exactly the same story. Of course, I asked if it's okay if the Syrian kids can join the Iraqis, and the teachers were just shaking their hands. They will never play together, they hate each other. The UN school was built in a very poor area of Damascus. Of course, the Syrian kids were jealous of the new Iraqis. Their new school, their new activities. But by the second week, we actually managed to get 3 Syrian kids to join the class. They just played the music while the Iraqis were practicing the movements. The girls came for the last 5 minutes of the class for the music. This time, no stones. The following week, the Syrian kids have brought their friends. They still don't want to play with one another, but capoeira doesn't work like that. Everyone has a partner, you shake your hands, you introduce yourself, and keep practicing the movements. You keep swapping the partner until you end up playing with everyone. And by the 4th week, the Syrian and the Iraqi kids were practicing together even before the class started. The teachers, they couldn't believe their eyes. They were so amazed. But is it such a surprise when using sport and music and play together? For refugee children and their families, one of the first things to be lost is a sense of dignity. And it is that loss of self-worth and control over one's own life which makes people so vulnerable to anger and frustration, mental illness, and to choices that can lead to violence and extremism. Having a safe way to express themselves, to feel a sense of agency and self-worth, is essential for rebuilding broken communities and broken people. Let's go back to Azraq refugee camp. I saw Ahmed there last week. He plays capoeira with us. Ahmed fled Aleppo after his house was bombed and destroyed. His 3 sisters and mother traveled together with other desperate Syrians for over 3 months, running out of food and water and losing all their money to bribes. 2 men in the same truck as Ahmed got shot and killed. As Ahmed finally made it to the border, a soldier stopped him, beating him to the ground, crushing his head into the sand with a boot and breaking his nose. Ahmed is 16 years old. Kids like him, they desperately need positive outlets to deal with their violent experiences. My vision is to bring together the capoeira community and its fans to support as many projects like this as possible and to reach out to people like Ahmed. Peace, when it finally comes to the Middle East, comes to a generation with a little left to lose and normalized to violence. It is through the safe expressions of their emotions, building new relationships that are based on trust and the joy of playing with friends, that the trauma created by the violence of what they have been through can begin to heal. There are other choices. And it begins first with having freedom of mind. Can I have that? So I think we have another 4 minutes, more or less. So I thought we play a little song because it's so difficult to explain what capoeira is in words. So let's sing a song if you're up for that. There's a song called Tem Dende. Tem means I have in Portuguese, and Dende is a palm nut oil. Yeah, it is in Brazil. Lots of people are using for cooking. So it gives the food a really nice flavor and spice. And you sing this song, Tem Dende, when the play is very nice. If somebody shows participation, you know, spice up the game a little bit. So let's try that. Yeah. So the song is quite easy. It's a call and response song. Yeah. So I sing Tem Dende, and let's try. Okay. So I sing, oh, Tem Dende, oh, Pandero, Tem Dende. And everybody sings, oh, Tem Dende, oh, Capoeira, Tem Dende. Tem Dende, oh, Peace Palace, Tem Dende. A little bit louder, Tem Dende, oh, Capoeira, Tem Dende. I don't need this. Let's try with clapping. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Aywa. So can I get 2 people come here to the stage? I will show a very, very simple exercise. Oh, sorry. I will show, come over, yeah. Come, I will show a very, really simple exercise. Thank you. So, someone else? Yalla. Okay, so watch first, and we try to do the same with our partner afterwards, okay? So first thing is, like I said, you introduce yourself, shake hands. What's your name? Tara. Tarek, hi. And can you hold this, please? Okay. So the ground step in capoeira is quite simple. It's like called jinga, but in the middle of the jinga, there's always this in the middle, like called cadera, which means chair. Yeah. So when we're trying, come here, we're trying to be here very stable and trying the other one to get out of balance, so you don't move the feet. Okay. So you try to push me and I push you. Yeah. Okay. So you know what we're doing now. So you grab your partner, left or right. Better if you play with somebody you don't know. Yeah. And you shake hands. You introduce yourself. You do it here, and we're also trying to sing at the same time, okay? Okay, yeah, let's get up and try that. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.